Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So I got a kind of confirmation, and I would say a confirmation that took some time, obviously, and that is the HIMARS, those American air defense systems. They suck. They suck in relation to the Russians' ability to jam them. Now, I don't celebrate that, but for me it's a celebration of a validation. So we have two articles here, one from Reuters and the other one is from Business Insider, that confirm something that I knew, or at least I couldn't say it because I didn't have the evidence. Now these guys are providing us with the reports saying that the Russians are so good at jamming that the HIMARS are really not doing anything. Now, I don't know if that's just a propaganda stunt in a way that they try to tell us, hey, we're going to send some more HIMARS to Russia, but they're not good anyway. Maybe. Why? So people don't say, wait a minute, you're going to hit targets in Russia with the HIMARS? Don't worry, they're bad anyway, right? We don't know yet. But this is a confirmation of something in general that I've been told in 1991. 1990 or 1991. It was related to the war in Iraq. You know, when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait and so on, and then these guys bombed him and so on, and then it was the invasion, tra-la-la. I remember that, and then the subsequent attacks on Iraq, and then this guy went back and so on, Saddam Hussein. I remember my father told me, at that time I was young, I didn't really know much about, and he said, well, very concerning, he said. My father was not a military guy, so let's put it this way. So he's not an expert, like I don't think people around really could be to extent of how much we are allowed to know about certain weapons. Otherwise, we are told. So we are told about weapons, how great they are by the guys who manufacture them. Or, in real war, when you test them against the enemy's weapons and see how good they are, obviously. So my father said, look at these guys. It seems like these guys are using the same technology, the same weapons, almost the same weapons. They used in the Second World War and Vietnam War. It's like, what's going on with little diversity there? And I said, well, didn't understand what the hell is going on. I didn't know. Nevertheless, now I have here, and that kind of showed me in this war in Ukraine, these guys use drones. Obviously, they didn't have drones then, but nevertheless, what is a drone? We have a drone. I have a drone. They have a drone. They have a drone. So it's not like, oh my God, the technologically advanced shit. And now the war in Ukraine is about drones mostly. Well, it's intelligence, is information, and so on. So what do we have here? We have two articles, one from Reuters, one from Business Insider, and I have a third article where they tell us how great or how not so great certain weapons are. In this case, the HIMARS. It seems like the Russians are jamming the HIMARS in such a great number that they make it ineffective. And the Russians are also able to jam the long-range glide bombs. So what's going on here? Hey, no surprise here at least. Why? Wherever I worked, I realized as an American that certain people get some jobs and some promotions based on their group affiliation. Why? Because these guys in the West, United States of America primarily, started screwing its country from about 1967, 1968. About that time, they started fucking it up. Therefore, you have people who should not be in certain positions, but they are, and that shows lack of inventivity, lack of professionalism, lack of. We rarely got something better, good. We got a lot of, Nevertheless, let me read some excerpts out of these two articles. I can't split the screen or place the articles here, but let me put my goggles so I make sure that we see that far. So the first article is from Reuters, and it says it is from 3 days ago. I sat on it because I've been waiting for more confirmations, and here it is. Ukraine's long-range glide bomb blunted by Russian jamming. Russian jamming has kept many of Ukraine's relatively new long-range JLSDB bombs from hitting their intended targets, 3 people familiar with the challenges told Reuters. Ukraine over the last year sought weapons with longer ranges than 43 miles, 69 kilometers, of US-provided GMLRS rockets, so Kiev could attack and disrupt Russian supply lines and muster points. The answer to that call, Boeing, that builds beautiful airplanes, among others, offered a new weapon to the Pentagon with a 100-mile, 161-kilometer range, the ground-launched small-diameter bomb, GLSDB. The glide bomb has small wings and extend its reach to, and it is comprised of the GBU-39 small diameter and M26 rocket motor, both of which are common in U.S. inventories and relatively inexpensive. But this navigation system, GLSDB, which enables it to be steered around obstacles like mountains and known anti-air defenses, has been targeted by Russian jamming, the 3 people briefed on the matter said. While Boeing has said the weapon can defeat some jamming, one of the sources said it would take Boeing months to fix. So Boeing and Ukraine authorities did not immediately respond to a request for comment. All right, so this is the glided bombs blunted. Next article comes from Business Insider, is from May 25, 2024, 3:02 p.m. And this is the title. The author of this article is Cameron Manley. U.S. supplied HIMARS, and I'm quoting in quotation mark here, completely ineffective against superior Russian jamming technology, report says. Now go and look for this article, and it has a little video with HIMARS versus BM-30 Smirch. Or Smirk, that's Smirk. Okay, that's how the U.S. top multiple rocket launcher compares with Russian BM So, Russian jamming has rendered U.S.-supplied HIMARS rocket launchers completely ineffective. A confidential Ukrainian weapon assessment was seen by the Washington Post. Jamming has also affected Musk's Starlink, causing serious communication issues for Ukraine. U.S.-supplied HIMARS rocket launchers have been rendered completely ineffective as a result of Russian electronic jamming system, a new report said. So, the report mentions weapons such as Excalibur GPS-guided artillery shells and the high-mobility artillery rocket system, or HIMARS, 2 plus the other one. So what do we find here? The Russians deployed electronic warfare, disabled satellite signals, and HIMARS became completely ineffective, the source told the Post. According to this assessment, Russian jamming can cause the missiles to miss targets by 50 feet or more. 50 feet or more, you divide that by 3, and you figure out how much it is in yards or meters. So it depends. I mean, if it's a big target like, oh, I'm going to hit Moscow. Yeah, I'm going to hit Moscow. But, well, what exactly in Moscow? Now, this gets me to another confirmation. When I was much younger, I saw I think it was an article, not an article. It was a piece of news coming from, I think it was in Romanians, saying that Americans flew some airplanes in the Black Sea, and the Russians jammed the airplanes, and the Americans turned around because they did not know where they were at, and so on. So I said, well, at that time I was still, come on, maybe the Russians are not able. But hey, they're able. They're able to do that very much. That's why these guys don't send but drones on the Black Sea and not really airplanes. When the Brits sent their airplanes, they got in trouble. So, how can you jam someone else's communication and, GPS and so on? With technology. And technology is created by this. in order to end by information gotten from the other side, because you need some good spies in order to know what the guys are using, and you need some very smart Russians to figure things out on the other end. Now, I don't know if the Americans are jamming the Russian ones, but whatever they have, but I didn't hear that yet. So it seems like the Russians are very smart, if anyone doubted them. I mean, after all, they're Europeans, so. All right, my friends, here it is. Send more, and we'll find out what happens. I didn't hear the Russians making too many reports, providing too many reports, or saying anything, oh, this HIMARS was blown up, oh, this HIMARS. Rarely. I don't know if they said they blown up about 3 or 4. And the Americans send more than 3 or 4. Now, if that's the case with the HIMARS, I'm pretty sure that happens with the Patriot systems as well. But remember, the Patriot systems use the same technology and the same people behind the American technology. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.